Does your organization get trapped in the noise of daily business activity? Let's illustrate this graphically. Your objective is to reach this milestone, but your day starts out and something goes wrong. So you fix it. Then something else goes wrong and you fix that. And another thing, and another thing, and another thing. And your day goes like that. You're exhausted at the end of the day, but you've accomplished nothing. Have you ever had a day like that? Does your organization function like that? This is a lot of noise. Why do we get trapped in the noise? A number of reasons. One, we don't have a clearly defined goal. Two, we lack a strategy that helps us achieve the goal. We don't have the ability to chunk this up. Three, we don't take the initiative because we're trapped by the tyranny of the momentary crisis. We're paralyzed by the noise. Finally, the element that keeps many trapped in the noise is the worst of all. Noise is the norm. This is the business version of the Stockholm Syndrome, where the business culture becomes a compliant prisoner to its business noise captor. Stephen Covey illustrates the problem in his best-selling 7 Habits of Highly Successful People this way. He has 4 quadrants drawn on page 151 of his book. He talks about the urgent, the not urgent, the important, and the not important aspects of decision-making and time management. The issue at hand is too much time is being spent on the urgent and not important problem-solving area, and not enough on the not urgent but important. Interestingly enough, we all know that if we don't work on this, we eventually create more of this to go along with this. So we create crises when we're stuck solving problems. A few years ago, we were coaching a sales executive on how to get out of the noise of his daily meetings and reports. He had 12 field sales offices reporting to him, all within a 2-hour drive of his office. The noise of reading reports, writing reports, and going to meetings only allowed him to get out in the field 1 day a week, and only to visit his 2 problem offices. He only saw the other 10 offices when they traveled in to his office for their monthly meetings. There are 2 problems here. Number 1, he only visited the field when there was a problem. Why would anyone look forward to his visit? 2, he waited for the other 10 to provide input at the monthly meeting. No doubt some of them had a few surprises for him, knocking him off balance. He had no command of the meeting and no proactive engagement with his team. Back to the Covey diagram. The sales exec spent his time here, problem solving, in too many meetings and doing too many reports. Or here, in the crisis mode, visiting his 2 problem offices, but not doing anything here on the proactive preventative side. Here's what we did in his case. First, we set a goal to get into the field 4 days per week, visiting all 12 offices on a weekly basis, and to accomplish this over a 5-week period. Second, we came up with a strategy to engage all 12 managers with positive reasons for each visit. This is much better and more effective than visiting for negative reasons or to visit for the sake of visiting. Each visit needed to have meaningful purpose and value for everyone. The plan was to add 2 new office visits per week over a 5-week period. This pace drove change while allowing time for both the manager and the offices to absorb the change. Third, in order to take the strategic initiative and put words into action, we convinced the executive that the pain of stasis was greater than the pain of change. Fourth and final, the ultimate prize was to create a new behavior, a new culture that was focused on innovative achievement rather than being trapped by the noise. What was the result? During the 3rd week, he called us and said 2 managers he felt showed the least respect for him invited him to their office for a proactive meeting. That is what happens when you visit the field more and your visits are value-based. You change the back channel talk from creative negativity to factual positive. They invited him because the back channel talk had turned positive with the other managers. They began to realize he was bringing something to the party other than a sour face. The 4th week, he called to say he had successfully scaled up to 4 days a week in the field. The 5th week, he called to say he had just run the monthly meeting at his office, and for the first time, He had total command of the meeting and never had to refer to his reports. The behavior had changed. He and his team were no longer trapped in the noise. It is not a coincidence that the sales performance of these offices averaged better than 10% above their projections the following month and improved over 15% the month after that. The most interesting thing of all was that none of these calls he made to us were required. He was not required to report in. He was merely sharing with us the actual progress he had made and his elation with making it. The first time you try to get out of the noise will be the hardest. You'll have to learn to ignore the noise and realize it will not go away without a fight. The culture will resist change, but by focusing hard on the goal, by forcing yourself to take each successive step, you'll be able to get further and further away from the noise and closer to your goal. Thank you for watching. I'm Paul Pease.